Okay, so welcome back to this thrilling series of videos on learning Markdown. At the moment, we are learning how to create Markdown documents, so plain Markdown documents, and hopefully, if you've been following along, you've been creating things, you will have an RStudio Cloud account. You will have created a file called My First Markdown, and you'd have written some things that are a little bit like what I've written here. And you're now kind of going, cool, this is great, but I want to know more stuff. I want to be able to do more interesting things with this document. That's a really good point. So let's go with more Markdown. Okay, so that's what we're up to here. A really common thing that you will want to do when creating documents of any kinds is insert hyperlinks, like links to websites, and you can do this just simply by typing in the URL itself. If you do that, almost every Markdown interpreter is smart enough to know, hey, if it's a website, it should be a link. So that would give you something like this. On the right hand side you can see, hey, https placekitten.com, and if I clicked on that, it would take me over to this very cool website which has a bunch of kittens. I like kittens. I realize that that's not the point here. Often you might not actually want the raw link to be what's shown on the screen. If you want instead to have your own text show, so maybe the text should just say place kitten, you surround it in square brackets. That's the text you want to be shown, and then in regular parentheses you would include the address itself. Okay, so let's have a go. Let's play around with that. I'm going to continue writing my document. I'm just going to add a bunch of space so that I can type down here. Okay, so what I might kind of do here is go https:/djnavarro.net. That's my academic website. And if I go save, click preview, and you can see it's doing something. I keep bringing up the wrong window because I'm really smart. Okay, go away. There we go. Okay, you can see down here it has a link to my webpage. Let's check that that link actually works. Yep, it does. That's thrilling. This website, by the way, was also written in our Markdown, so just as a kind of another exciting thing that you can do is create websites that look like this. Okay. What I might want to do instead, though, is link to a more interesting site, which would be interesting. Yeah, why not? https placekitten.com. Okay, so now I'll save that. I'll click preview again, and up comes my document, which now is full screen for obvious some reason. But now you can see the text here says, hey, a more interesting site. And that's a link. We'll click on that link. Yep, that takes you to Place Kitten. Great. Okay, so that's how you can create links in Markdown. All right. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, gosh, I want to create some images. I want links to images, sorry. So to do that, what you would do is type something kind of ugly, which I'll explain in a moment, and this will give you an image inside your document. But first, what we're going to need to do is actually have a document, like an image file, that's in our RStudio Cloud project. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to go save image as, and I'm going to grab this exact image, and I'm going to put it on my desktop on my machine and go save it there. Okay, so going back to our RStudio Cloud project, we have here the a little button or thing here that says upload, right? And what I want to do is we'll browse my computer, and here on my desktop, hey, you can see some videos I've been recording. Wonder what those might be. There's the file that we want. There's our markdown.png file. So I'll click open. Okay, I'll click OK again, and inside my RStudio Cloud project, we now have an image file, and I can insert that image file into my document. Now, how do I do that? Well, let's go back over here. We have this slightly funny thing where you have an exclamation mark, then you have square brackets with nothing inside them, then you have an open parenthesis, and then you have the path to the file itself, right? In my slides, I had this rmarkdown.png file in a subfolder called image, which is why it's written like that. But what we'll see when we go and do it in our RStudio Cloud project, where the rmarkdown.png file is in the same folder as my first markdown document, all I have to do is do this. So exclamation, open bracket, close bracket, open parenthesis, and then I'm just going to type rmarkdown.png, and we save that, and then we go preview, and we get hopefully a document that has an image in it. Yes, we do. Woo! It's enormous, but that's just because I haven't done anything fancy to change the size of the image. I'm not going to talk about that right now, other than to go, gosh, that's large. Okay. You don't... Okay, where am I? I've lost track of my own slides. I'm really on top of this. I'm very good at these things. Okay. Other times when you want to create images, insert images into a document, you might want to insert them directly from the web. So, for example, these place kitten files. So, if I click on, I'll just click on this link on placekitten.com to placekitten.com/200/300. It will take me to an image. So this is an image that is on the internet, and I want that kitten to be in my document, or at least a kitten with the same size. So let's see if I can do this. The way that we do this is essentially exactly the same as we did before, except we just put the website address there, and so then you get your little kitten. So let's check that that works on our document. So if we go, okay, there we go. Okay, so now we go HTTPS placekitten.com 200 300. Let's save our document again and preview. And what have I done wrong? It says pandoc document conversion failed with error 63. Well, that's not a good sign. It's possibly that I did not get the address correct. Let's check. And yay! Let's just go past the enormous markdown thing. The important point is that we now have our kittens, which was really the main goal. So one thing that we should keep in mind is that sometimes you will get errors when you make mistakes. So let's go back, because I think it's a useful thing to be able to do. Let's just close that. I said close, thank you. I'm just going to drag this window back up again. And let's now repeat our mistake. So we'll go back delete that. We'll save it. And let's watch what happens when we deliberately make a mistake this time. So we go click on preview, markdown tab comes up to tell us all sorts of junk, which we generally ignore, and warning, this document, blah, 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 blah. And basically what we see here is could not determine MIME type for blah. That may mean something to you. It probably doesn't. Error messages are really, really common when doing programming. So, right now, which is, at the beginning of what would probably be a class for you, get used to seeing the ugly red text and kind of going, oh my God, I've made a mistake. Because it will happen a lot. It happens to experts. It happens all the time. I wasn't actually planning to make that particular error right then, but it's a good moment to illustrate what the process is. Step one when making an error and seeing the terrible red messages come up is don't panic. It's normal, and then you try and figure out how to fix it. Okay, so back to this. Another type of thing that we like to do when creating documents is block quotes. So sometimes you want to have a whole chunk of text in quote marks of some kind. Basically, all you need to do is have this greater than sign on the left hand side, and it'll turn the text into a block quote, and what you'll get is something that looks like this. Okay, let's go back over to our project and let's check that this actually does that. I am going to, for the sake of all of our sanity, delete all of this boring stuff and go, okay, this is normal text, then this is a block quote. Okay, so we save that, click preview, and voila. Normal text, this is what block quotes look like in this particular theme. Okay, seems to work. That is a handy, useful thing to be able to do. A thing that often comes up, particularly when writing complicated documents like theses or things like that, is sometimes you want to have lists inside lists. We can do that just by creating a second list inside the first list, but slightly indented. So notice that I've got two spaces before the text here. Yeah. That will allow us to create a nested list. So let's go back over to our document and see if we can do this ourselves. So go back over here, and then we can go like that. We'll go, okay, first item. Actually, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna type 1 again and go second item. Yeah. Third item. This isn't exactly how you should do it, especially not with all those typos, but we'll create this and then go preview. It produces an output that automatically numbers things in the correct order. This you'll find is very, very common, but I strongly recommend not doing that on the grounds that you want your raw document to look like it makes sense. So you would actually prefer to have the numbers going in the correct order, and I can't bear my typos any longer. And then let's go an item, another item. Now RStudio was nice enough when I hit enter here for it to automatically start the cursor there, which is nice. But it's nothing special. Like regular spacing is all that you need here. So tabs or 2 spaces will do the job. So let's check. click preview, and there we go. We have our list with another list inside it. We could just, if we wanted to, can we nest a third list in there? We probably can. More. Save. Click preview. And okay, so you can see that we've got our first list, then you've got a sub list, and then you've got a sub list. Markdown will let you do this. Whether or not you ever want to in real life is probably, I'm not sure that I often find it very useful to go into 3 levels of sublisting, but if you ever need to, that it's a thing that you can do. Okay, so let's go back to another one of these, hey, do-it-yourself kind of things. In your RStudio Cloud project, open your own file, try out all of these new features, save the document, get used to building it, play around with a bunch of things, see how you go. Yes, good luck. Enjoy. I'll stop this one here. Or will I?